Hello everyone. The Israeli or Jewish people are one of the most unfortunate ethnic groups in the world because they were despised and discriminated against when they wandered throughout Europe for thousands of years. Since the re-establishment of the nation in 1948, they have struggled to survive under pressure from the Arab community. However, somehow the Israelis overcame it all and became a respected powerhouse with a population of just over 9.2 million people. Yet they have a GDP of $481 billion, much higher than our country. Israel is the 10th largest arms exporting country in the world and very powerful in the Middle East, surpassing even big countries like Saudi Arabia and Iran. How did they achieve this? Let's explore together. When it comes to Israel, we won't discuss natural resources because they have almost none. The only thing they possess is intelligence and creativity. Let's look at some examples. In 1948, during the confrontation with Arab countries, the Israelis were completely inferior in terms of strength. Apart from being equipped with sufficient guns and ammunition, they only had about 25 aircraft and 10 lightweight tanks. After a short period of fighting, they ran out of bombs and artillery shells. Some interesting ideas emerged. The Israelis collected a lot of glass bottles and filled planes with them before dropping them near where Arab troops were sheltering. The sound from the empty bottles was similar to that of bombs, causing the enemy soldiers to panic and retreat in surprise because previously Israel had no more bombs to attack. In addition, the Jews improvised a mortar called the David Ka. Although its accuracy was very low, its huge sound made the Arab army anxious, thinking the opponent had secret weapons. Another example is in 1967 when Israel launched a preemptive attack and defeated the Allied Arab forces in just 6 days. The reason was that they had already known all of the enemy's plans before the war started. A few years earlier, the Mossad intelligence agency had deeply infiltrated the inner circle of their opponents. Spy Eli Cohen played the role of a wealthy businessman sponsoring the Syrian government. He succeeded to the point of becoming a key advisor to the defense ministry and was nominated as deputy minister in Egypt. Spy Ashraf Marwan was President Nasser's son-in-law. He knew the top military secrets of the country. Thanks to its sophisticated intelligence network, Israel had advanced knowledge of all information from attack plans to the location of enemy troops. That's why victory was inevitable. At the time of its establishment, Israel had to rely on foreign aid. They had three main sources of funding from 1949 to 1973. First were interest-free loans from the Jewish community, mainly in Europe. Second were reparations from West Germany due to the Holocaust that Hitler had caused. Third was from the United States, the country with the largest Jewish population outside Israel. Eager to compete with the Soviet Union, the US was very generous with aid. With those three sources, Israel received an average of about $160 million per year. With this amount, a fool would waste it in no time. But the wise would create miracles. Israel used the aid to focus heavily on education, specifically training professional engineers. They established a rigorous evaluation process when a student graduates. If he wants to graduate, he must solve a problem in his field of study. For example, how to improve the transportation system, develop irrigation, overcome water scarcity, or increase defense. These are real-life issues that require brainpower and creativity, unlike some countries where graduation theses are often copied from predecessors and have no application. As a result, training 10 but only being able to use 1. In addition, Israel's education curriculum is also changed periodically to keep up with the world's technological developments. They do not teach outdated things that are only used for scoring, unlike some countries. Israelis believe that for every dollar invested in education there must be economic value generated or help develop the country. As a result, a lot of talent has been created. They are an important resource, attracting over 360 multinational companies to Israel, including Apple, Google, Facebook, and Intel. In addition, thanks to thorough training, Israeli engineers have also made many breakthroughs. For example, in the 1960s, Israel faced difficulties in agriculture due to water shortages. Engineer Simha Blas invented drip irrigation, helping save 60% compared to conventional irrigation. His company has now exported its products to 110 countries and holds 30% of the global market share. In healthcare, Israeli engineers have also created miracles. They created a device called PillCam with a built-in camera used for esophagus, stomach, and intestine endoscopy. Notably, It is pill-shaped and swallowed into the stomach, providing clear images for doctors. It is later naturally excreted. In defense, Israel is also famous for its ability to improvise and develop new advanced weapons. These include the Iron Dome, one of the most sophisticated air defense systems in the world. It can intercept thousands of missiles simultaneously with a 90% success rate. The reason Israel developed such an advanced defense system is because in the 1970s, they were forced into a corner, having to spend nearly 30% of GDP on military annually to defend against being surrounded by Arab states. Prolonging this was unsustainable, so Israel was determined to build its own weapons industry, reducing costs of purchases and dependence while earning export profits. Although Israelis are very good at developing technology, they struggle to attract foreign investors because of their small population, unable to form an attractive market. Moreover, initially few believed they had superior technology. Thus, the Israeli government made a revolutionary change, establishing a venture capital fund specifically providing capital for potential tech startups. Under this, the government contributes 40% while investors contribute the remaining 60%. Within 5 years, investors can buy back the government's shares at a discounted price. If the startup succeeds, investors gain huge profits by having the right to buy back shares, while the government accepts missing out on profits they would have earned due to the incentive. Thanks to this incentive, from 1980 to 1990, Israel attracted about $260 million. This amount was small but laid the foundation for later success as more and more big investors came, attracted by the profits. In 2021 alone, Israeli tech companies attracted $25.6 billion in venture capital, fueling today's success. There are now around 6,000 active startups, far exceeding our country. These companies are the embodiment of Israel's intellect and power. In summary, the successes of the Jewish people stem from education, innovation, and determination principles not only true for a country but also applicable to individuals.